Also needs her daily dose of the Deej.
Oh, don't we all? Don't we all?
I do.
I have that's still used as mockery in my family.
No, of course. Daily
and
dose
I always
of the
say,
Deej.
yeah, but you know, Chris Stone's wife, she always needs her daily dose. That's it.
You got one life, for crying out loud. You might as well just give it all you got.
The Deej, Dan Jourdan.
Your daily dose of reality. Your daily dose of the Deej.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but I need my daily dose of the Deej.
I make the news. I don't watch the news. I'm a leader.
The Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Listen, don't worry how to sell, baby. Worry about why people buy. And it's fun.
You don't need a 5-hour energy. All you need is the Sales Energizer.
Just when I think it's not going to be as fun as the one before, each one gets successfully better. What's the word I'm looking for? What's it going to take to get you into this car today, huh?
And now, please welcome the Sales Energizer, Dan Jourdan.
Boom! That's exactly it.
Do that. Let's do that. Boom. That's exactly it. Look out, baby. I'm in the mood today. I don't know what's going on. It's been like a week. It's been like just creeping up on me. You know, I usually like Mondays are my favorite days of the week. And the reason is because you think you have an edge on everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 full days to sell, but like everybody starts off slow. And then they look forward, you know, to Friday when they can leave. And so it's awful. But I love Mondays and I love Fridays. And I love Fridays because, yes, I this is the beginning of my Friday. Because I know here it's like 2 o'clock, 2 to 3 o'clock, but then 3 to 5 on Friday is the best time to be calling and banging and talking to people because it's the same thing as Monday. They're slow to start on Monday, and then they're fast to leave at about 3 o'clock on Friday. So I got no competition on Monday and Friday. Today, however, extra special because I get Chris Stone in a purple shirt. Last week, were you on vacation or what happened?
I was
last
on vacation. I went to went to the homeland, went to Detroit, Michigan. Yeah, and a lot of people go, "You went to vacation to Detroit?" Heck yeah, we go to vacation to Detroit. We go to Michigan. There's lots of lakes. There's lots of sports teams that I love, and you know, went to the family went up, and you know, we the ironic part is, Dan, we had an Airbnb set up there, bunch of friends coming in for the games, all that whole thing. Made it out of town for after the hurricane, right? Everybody's worried about Atlanta. Everybody's worried about all the weather, all of that good stuff.
Right.
Good to see that you're here, Dan, by the way.
Yes.
Because of the weather. When we got there, they canceled our Airbnb because of flood damage in Michigan.
Oh,
so here
great.
we're just thinking like, hey, we just got out under, you know, just past the storm. We get there and it's like flood damage. So we had to get hotels, but whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So
There's worse problems to have.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome. That's what I think salespeople it's easier to go with the flow because you deal with it all day long. And so you're just by assimilation, by osmosis, dealing with the Deej.
Wow.
You're able to
words like that.
Boom.
Dan.
Confetti. That's good. Well, listen. The whole idea of this show is not just for me to pontificate.
No, sir.
Because you have all of my wisdom already. The idea is to get people smarter and better than me to be able to share their wisdom to the rest of the world. And I have the good fortune of not just one, but two, an active couple who still like each other, who work together. I know it doesn't happen very often in this in this day and age, and just glorious people who I can't wait for everybody here in the Dan Jourdan Live community to meet. So without any further ado, please help me welcome my new friends, Mr. Vince and Lisa Gavin. Come on down.
I love it. I love it. Look at there's so many arms in that
That's it.
picture. They're so close. I love it. I love it. I love it.
I know.
Now the energy's flowing, right?
Yeah.
Now we're ready to go.
That's it. It just looks like a real audience. It looks like a whole crowd there with all those arms in the air. That's cool. You know, we don't need people to listen. We'll make our own audience. That's how we roll here.
You ready?
Well, awesome. So, did you guys have to deal with the flood? Where are you located?
We're in Chicago.
In Chicago.
Yes.
You know what? I have to fix my sound because I can't hear squat. Chris Stone, ask the next question while I fix this. You see,
Let me
I don't know what
let me get them. Let me get their volume up a little bit, and that might help. So you guys had no weather in Chicago. I love Chicago, by the way. One of my favorite things about Chicago, believe it or not, is that caramel and cheese corn.
Yes.
What's the name? What's the name of the place that has that?
It's Garrett's. Garrett's popcorn.
Garrett's. Oh, I will eat that thing by the shovel. That is just glorious. Garrett's. Dan, have you ever had Garrett's?
Caramel and cheese mix. Orange hands.
A Garrett?
The orange hands.
I've not had a Garrett. I've had Cornish hens. They're like little chickens.
What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Cornish
Did you say
hens?
Cornish hens? It keeps breaking
she said
up.
Orange hands.
Oh, I thought she said corn.
No, because you get the cheddar. You get the cheddar powder. See, Lisa, we know. Let's just we don't need Dan, right? Let's just.
You don't need this.
Thanks, Chris.
Well, you know that whole thing's. How did you guys, you Cornish hen lovers over there, why don't you give us an idea of what you do to help people earn more money and save more money? Let's look how Big Vince just jumps right in.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa. You can start.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Because I guess talking, right? Well, so we help people by understanding their financial situation in a different necessarily look at their positioning before they make financial moves. Whether that's in looking at their credit score and optimizing that so it's as high as possible, winning what lenders they should be going to based on where they are, whether that's understanding their documentation and the things that the lenders will require to for whatever loan or product that they want to do, whether that's just their professional positioning. Are they optimizing their personal selves and their personal skills to in their jobs and professions? So we're about personal development, and all of those things impact your finances. And if you don't give all of that thought, then you're not properly positioned.
Well, are you dealing with individuals or businesses?
Mostly individuals. Mostly individuals.
Got it. How'd you get into this, Vince?
Yeah, both of us have higher education, master's degrees, and what we did was went out and studied a lot of information and created a database. And in this database describes many instances on what's happened with people, meaning what bureaus, lenders pool, what the scoring requirements are, how much they are approving, all that together to instances, and start offering that to people to change their life, you know, as far as what it takes to get things off their credit, if that's a problem, was helping them develop, you know, more credit so they can get into businesses and other things that changed your life.
Yeah.
Do you have a
The
favorite?
interesting part.
Yeah, go ahead. I
Now,
was
so
going to
the
ask if you
interesting
had
part.
any favorite success stories.
Oh my goodness. Here's the funny part. We've worked with every different type of think of. We have on our roster a former undersecretary of defense. We have a Grammy winner. We have a Hollywood actor. We have multiple professional athletes. Interesting mix of people that are looking to optimize their position. And so probably one of my favorite success stories is our first corporate client. And we used to travel the country, stops on cruise ships, in the Bahamas, all over the place, working with this particular client. But the success story was that he was interested in optimizing his position and maximizing his score because his brother, who he, to say the least, way less successful than him and had a higher credit score. And he could not figure out why his credit scores were not where they needed to be. And so we took him on as a optimize his position, and he refinanced 12 properties and saved a goo gob of money.
A goo gob?
Yeah.
Did she say a goo gob?
Yeah.
Is that a Chicago
goo
thing?
Gob.
Okay.
No.
Let me give you one other example. Okay.
I
One
like
of
goo
our
gob.
clients came to us, right? They have two Subway came back and offered them the opportunity to get two more Subways, but they need to put like 10% down for them for Subway to finance the other two. So what we did, we went out and got them the 150, and the 150 was 10% down so that Subway will give them two more Subway locations. So that example came to us with two Subways, but ended up with four by the time they worked with us, maybe a couple of weeks or so.
Really? So you were able to do that? That's kind of cool. So the goo gob, and you say you work for all the, how did you get all these? This is what other people want to know from you. You know, you can buy a whole lot of Cornish hens with a goo gob. I'll tell you that right now.
Oh my God.
That equation is off the charts, man. Cornish hens to goo gobs, man. You know what we get? We get confetti with that.
So
there we go.
So how do you, that's like a dream of many people who are going into business and finding things. I know you will get to the work that you do here, but a lot of people watching the show, they're entrepreneurs and solopreneurs and people out there looking for their first big kind of glamour client to get out there and just, have something to show because it helps them with new sales. How did you come across your first big kind of glamour client? I'll call him a celebrity client.
Well,
now that you're working with Michael Jourdan.
Well, you know what? It would be nice if I could say that it's just a instant. It's not. It's a lot of development history to get to the point that you can reach those clients. For us, it started with working with one of our clients was a sports agency, and they had a lot of, by getting into the sports agency and helping them understand how we can help their clients, they then start opening the door for us to reach a lot of those clients. And that's certainly how we got into working with athletes, for instance. But it's the organizations that connect to the individuals that you want to target, because that organization helps you to develop yourself and to be more established as the expert, because as they trust you, that belong to that organization can trust you. So that's certainly one tool that we've used over the years.
But I can share one thing that's helped us get a lot of affluent clients. Maybe a cousin, a friend, or someone associated with them We changed their life, meaning they got a new house, new vehicle, traveling the world and everything. Athlete or affluent person wants to know, how did your life change that fast? And then,
yeah, because I thought you were a nobody.
Yeah, our name usually comes up.
Really? So you just get people's financial lives in order. Let me ask you, where do you start? Aside from clicking on your website, but let's say we start working together. Where do you start if you're working with me?
Well, I know for us, one of the things that we started was a online forum that we start using to share our secrets. A lot of the types of financial information that is not readily available out there, or if you did a Google search, you would probably find 50 million different things and still not be clear about what. So one of the things that we did was to develop this online forum. We also have consulting that we do, low cost consulting that allows us to get with you on a one-on-one basis. You are, which is the CoachtoCash.com. We can understand where you are and then understand how we need to move and position you, because if we can't see where you are now, nobody can magically tell where you're going to be if they don't know where you are. It's kind of like telling somebody, yeah, go to Vegas, drive south. Well, if they're already south, they probably have to drive north. But if you don't know their positioning, you can't. That's what makes us different, is that we understand how to lock into where you are, what your goals are. And then through there, we can start to come up with a plan to help figure out how we need to shift and move you based on.
Just to give you a little basic, pardon me?
Yeah.
No,
just
go
to
ahead,
give
Vince.
you a little,
Yeah.
just to give you a little basic information, about 60 to 70% of our clients, sure, we can work with people that have credit concerns, but they have good credit and want to structure themselves to maximize what they want to do. Meaning they want to get the highest, the lowest interest rate at the most friendly terms. They want to know what bank they should do that with, because certain banks have certain temperaments. Yeah. They're only giving so much. They're only going to do very little more. But we actually collect statistics on these types of things so that before you even go in, we already have a barometer on how that bank is going to treat you.
Fit.
Right.
Well, it's so the bank. So do people come to you when they're looking to buy something, or they're looking to, get into a new business or something like that, or just that they're, what's the, I guess, what's the jump off point that someone says, I need to call Vince and Lisa, or Lisa and
they
Vince?
got turned down for something. They want to do real estate. Real estate is
a lot of times people come to us with trying to reach the goal, because hey, and it costs $100,000 to start. They can go to the bank and get 20, 30, 40, but trying to get to that 100 may be very difficult on their own. Get $1 million lines of credit for real estate because they're trying to buy multi-units. Again, they come to us to understand what requirements, what bank they can go to achieve this.
Yeah.
Got it. And so you'll have, now this environment is a little different than it was, say, 6 months ago. Do you find that you've had to change? What was that?
It's continued studying. The industry change, with new administrations, new GDP findings. It's just so many the interest rates and how the banks want to treat you, whether they're going to approve you. It's so many things now. so we can help you make a better decision.
That seems to work out. How does somebody get to that forum? And can anybody join that forum?
Yeah, absolutely. The forum is definitely open. It's only $49 a month, and we make sure that we load it all the time with a lot of the things actually we're talking about right now. We're talking about different factors that change the decisioning for banks. We're talking about the different things that's happening. Might be, any type of economic news that impacts consumers, any type of changes in laws that impact us, any type of new banks, mergers, things like that. We're constantly making sure that we're helping people interpret how those things impact them. But more importantly, what are some of the different mover to either take advantage of that situation or to not be taken advantage of. So,
well,
for example,
so $49 a month, I can get like a master's degree in finance without having to read the paper.
There you go.
Well, I mean, if you talk to master degree people who watch this stuff all the time, I mean, we're going to turn you into the same thing we are.
You were going to say something, Vince, before Chris Stone rudely interrupted you.
Oh, that's okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you two seem to get along. Just today I was driving down and there was this much older couple walking hand in hand down the street. I'm not saying that you two remind me of that, but this happened. But they were just walking. And they were just so cute. You should see. It was almost like they were helping each other. Well, I actually stopped my car, rolled down the window, and I said, "You guys are adorable," and they enjoyed it. Yes, it was very nice. So, but you two, now I'm talking to you, Vince and Lisa. You seem to get along really well. Where the heck did you guys meet? Or, I mean, like, is it? There's no way that finance brought you together.
No, it did not. Actually, when we first met, we were careers. I was in higher ed administration, and he was in IT, running companies' IT departments. And we actually met through mutual friends. And once we did, it just, from there, I had aspirations to start my own business. And he was in corporate, but, once he kind of helped me structure a business and a concept, he said, you know what, I think we should do something about credit. Credit is, people need it. It's a lot of confusion about it. Yeah. And I said, really? Of course, him being in IT, he had researched like hundreds of pages. Luckily, I'm smart. So I was able to read a lot and catch up and said, this is a great concept. And so I morphed my business, at least desires, into the concept that he came up with. And it's that he ended up leaving his job to run the business with me. So, really? and we've been working the business longer than we've been married. So the business was our first baby. The marriage came later, if you can believe.
Look at that. Well, you start. So, speaking of babies, you have any babies? Any kids?
Yeah, we do. We have grown kids, except for the last one at home. She's on her way. She's in her. We're going to be empty nesters soon. Woo!
Oh, really? Yeah. So we're in the same. Well, I mean, and you'll stay. I think that's great because usually, that was a challenge I was always worried about that. Like when the kids leave, like, am I still gonna like? Are we still gonna like each other? And so, well, you hear a lot of divorces like that.
You do. But life one shouldn't be completely children. Because I'm a certified life coach, so I can speak on this. As a couple, you have to have things that you do that, that have nothing to do with the kids. So we leave her sometimes. And she's like, yes, we're leaving you.
Yeah, one bit of advice, do what the wife say.
Yeah.
He hasn't learned done yet, so don't listen.
You know, I had a thing. That's right. I had a thing with my son. We were, you know, you always feel whenever it's almost impossible not to kind of be in dad mode, you know. And so, but I mean, he's 25 now, you know, come 26, and he was sharing something about the business, and he made a decision on what he wants to do, and you know, me being a jerk, I'm like, you know, it wasn't like I said his idea was bad. It was just that I just said, hey, I gave him another option. Hey, why don't you think of this? Thinking, and he looked at me. Now I've always been of the mind that, you know, everything's a teachable moment. And so he looked at me and he goes, Daddy, he calls me Daddy. He goes, Daddy, can't you just let me win one time? Like, can't you just let me make a decision and you not correct me? And I looked at him and I realized, you're right. Every moment is a teachable moment, but sometimes I'm not the teacher. And so it was a good strong lesson. So that was a long-winded setup. You didn't think this was going somewhere, but I am a trained
You didn't think it was going somewhere, Dan.
I am a trained professional. How do you infuse your knowledge of finances onto a younger generation, maybe your children, but maybe just people much younger than you, that kind of think, and now's different than it ever was, and you guys don't know, things have changed? How do you share that wisdom?
Well, when you talk about from the young to the old, you know, just to say from 18 to 50, 50, things have changed significantly, because what's happened, the 50, 55-year-olds, they were used to going down to the bank to get their money, sit down, talk to the banker and stuff like that. But a lot of things today, you got to have email addresses, you got to have understanding of how to work the website, work the web,
connect your bank account,
and other things that are applicable that are only. And so the younger generation are more apt to understand that these things are computerized and can do these things, you know, on the internet, release information or ideas. Older generation, for one, computer literacy, I think is knocking a lot of the older population out the game, because they don't have the necessary tools, the bank requirements, understanding how to go on these different websites and do what they call plaid and things like that.
Answer question. You have to talk to younger folks with understanding, or at least allowing them to know you have an understanding of technology, of the current environment. Talking as if you don't understand that all these changes have taken place, you're instantly discredited. And so that's what we learn when we're, you know, talking to younger folks, to say, hey, you know, a wise man learns from others. So, you know, we can say, hey, we've made some mistakes already. Let me tell you what not to do. Let me be the whistleblower to let you know the truth, the secrets, the facts. You know, they are really turned on by seeing, you know, they love reality TV drama. So you kind of have to be able to paint to them, hey, let me tell you, I had a client and this is what happened. And they gravitate toward that, and they're like, oh, wow, let me, you know, figure out how to do this. So those are things that give us more credibility with the young folks. Plus, we don't look old, so that helps.
I may need to cut this beard.
That's right. I know, we're all that's the perfect answer, and that is right. But no one believes, you know, that'll happen to you. I mean, it's like astonishing. You hear about these basketball players that were worth, you know, 150 million, and now they're broke. I mean, it's like, how does that even happen? You know, they can't, and you know, you think that'll never happen to me, but these people, they're not idiots either, and they got families around them too. And so and I'm saying this for purpose also, because earlier when you said about your course, your $50 a month thing, you kind of squeamishly said, or you sped up the price. It's only $49.95 or whatever. No, it's $49.95. You need to pay this. You need to get involved in this type of thing. You're saving people. I heard a story with do you remember Zig Ziglar? Like the old motivational speaker? Yeah, it's a big dog back in the day. And he had a son, Tom, and Tom is out there doing stuff. But Tom was recounting this story, but he was with his dad, and they had done a speech at an insurance company. And after the presentation, they were there at a diner. It was late at night. And there was this, the waitress was there, and it was an older woman, far beyond her years that she should have been working there. And she obviously didn't want to work there, but she was there doing the thing. And Zig turned to his son, Tom, and said, you know what's going on right there? And he asked what? And he said, some insurance salesperson 40 years ago didn't do his job. And didn't get that woman into an investment plan. And so what you're doing is really God's work by getting people into a position. You're preventing people from getting older to the point where they're forced to work when they don't want to. It's not just enjoying their life. So I was saying this to you, and I'm saying this to everyone else who's going to hear it. Never be squeamish about selling a product that's going to make someone's life better. And I believe that you can do it. See, what do you think of that, Vince? That was a teachable moment. What do you see? I mean, there it goes. It's all natural. Yes.
To the point of what you were saying about just, how does that, there out at doctors, lawyers, there's lots of smart people, but you know where most ideas are? They're in the grave, because a lot of people do not manifest their ideas. And a lot of people are also smart, but not necessarily smart about how they manage money and understanding credit and understanding the banking system and understanding how to maneuver, understanding how to run a business. You know what I mean? People have a passion about something, but are horrible, don't know how to run a business. It's just not in their wheelhouse or in their knowledge base. So it's not about people being smart. It's about them understanding their limitations so that they can get expert help that they're just not experts at. I don't change my own oil. A lot of people don't do their own taxes. It's, I don't serve as my own lawyer in court. People have reason. And so that's what part of the issue is people assume that because they're smart, they're supposed to be smart about everything.
Oh, that's good. That's good. That's it. We call that the curse of knowledge, right? People think, like, I'm in the same business. I do podcasting, right? And my assumption is people understand how to do all this stuff because I've been doing it for 30 years. But the thing is, like, most people don't. And so what you guys do is highly specialized. You're experts. You've done this for a number of years, and you have for you guys, it's like breathing. For other people, it is like climbing a mountain. So my question to you is, and I understand what you guys do is highly specialized for a particular individual or business. What are some of the things that generally most people have an issue with that you solve? Like, I understand, like, they're in a particular financial situation, but there's got to be some things that most people stumble over in terms of, like you said, leaving a legacy, like all of those things, financially, that people forget about until they're too old, and then they leave the crumbs for other people to pick up. What are some things that maybe generally across your historical client base are some of the problems that you've seen and that you've worked to solve?
Well, let me say this. First of all, just to kind of reference what we're talking about, people feel about what you do, what we do in particular, people, even yourself, you pay your bills on time every
Mhm.
month. You just pay on time. It looks good. You automatically think you're an expert because you've
Yeah.
not paid all your bills on time.
Right.
So there's
Right.
you develop. But one of the most common things, just within the last week, I was talking to a client doing great in their life. They make a mistake. Maybe some was late, or they making a lender that doesn't work. That lender reports them inaccurately or something like that. Most of the people don't know how to recover from it.
Yeah.
Because they
Oh.
only thing they know. But now how to recover, it can be a struggle. Say they go from 800 credit score to
It
650.
can drop substantially.
Yeah, they have no clue on what it takes to get back to 800.
Mm.
The other thing I think about, some common things, real estate. Real estate is always a top motivator. But people assume that what you need to do to get your first property and what you need to do to get investment property is the same thing. No, it's a that now you had to be prepared for when you start doing that. So real estate is one of the big motivators that lead people to figure out that they need to figure some things out, right? It's nuts because most people, they have these different monitoring services. They get different scores from different places, and they don't even understand what a real score is or how to measure what their real score is. Your standard is FICO. Most of the scores you see, you have no idea what that score is, and most of the time it's a made up score by that particular source. So people go in thinking they have great scores, and they're not looking at the same score that the bank. So things like that happen, and people go, well, what went wrong? Well, you didn't understand what the industry is doing. And my favorite one is when people go into a bank they either don't offer that particular product that they need, or maybe that bank is a little, what I call bougie. Oh, you have to be here for us to deal with you. And they go in being regular people, and the bank doesn't want regular people. Also know the personality of the different institutions that you're dealing with, who they target. Are you in that, arena that they want to do business with? And, we in general as a society, we don't research this stuff in advance because we don't know how. We just go and do it until we're told no, we don't get the rate we want. They made us upset. They turned us down for some stupid reason, but we didn't put the research. All of those types of things are just things that people deal with it on a regular basis and don't understand how to deal with strategically.
Well, amazing. And we can get all that knowledge for $49 a month.
Yes. Through the financial community.
Yes.
And you can also, in it, you can pose questions, specific questions about yourself, get answers, examples of what people have went through before you, and they can respond to what's happened with them. Meaning, just to give you an example, hey, I went down to Bank of America, then was check stubs, and they gave me $50,000 line. Things of that nature.
Yeah. We understand
that is
giving
funny.
out the money.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's important because a lot of people are going into business, or they're thinking about buying a franchise or buying a business or doing something, and they're like, and the broker always says, oh, don't worry, there's plenty of finance opportunities out there. Don't worry about it. Sign here, do whatever you do. And then, then they're kind of stuck with commitment, and they got interest rates out the wazoo, and they don't know what to do there. And they don't know how to read a financial statement. So when they do get the business, they're all, where's the money? So you help them with that too. You could help someone read a profit and loss and income statement and a balance sheet.
Yes.
We do have that's more in our group, more intense coaching programs. So we do have coaching programs that help go through, I call it financial life coaching. Go through 4 different areas of their financial life that they need to be better equipped to read, understand, structure in order to get results.
Well, I think it's great, and I really appreciate you guys coming on, because yes, we've learned some stuff here, but what the beautiful thing about financial literacy that you do is that there's numbers involved, and so numbers work all the time. So once you learn once you learn what are the proper ratios or how to do that things with money, once you know it for the rest of your life. And so when you don't know what it looks like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Things are just happening to me. But once you learn it and deal with the experts, you have a skill that you have and can pass on forever. And so I really appreciate you coming on today. Do you have any final words of wisdom you can share with the car buying public?
I want to first of all let people know that the forum, the financial our financial forum that we were referring to, in links, you can get to that forum. So feel free to go to any of the social media links and you can get to the financial all-stars forum is what we call it. Words of wisdom, knowledge up. Can't keep doing this stuff by accident. If you want the optimal results, and what I tell people is that the greatest players have coaches, even the Jourdan, Michael. So even great players have coaches. And so what makes you think that you should not be coached? Your money and your finances need to be coached. That's my final word.
And then finally, what I like to say, really good at is helping people set up the roadmap. Yes. Set their roadmap up for success. Yes. A lot of people can be underdeveloped, don't understand how to put their financial picture together, don't understand about net worth, to qualify them. We're excellent. And our tools, such as the financial forum, which is a financial community online, it helps people's topics even before they go to the bank.
Yeah. Absolutely.
That's money. Well, I appreciate. By the way, there's one other thing you could take to the bank, and that is Chris Stone is the world's best podcast host. Is he not amazing?
Excellent. Yes. So happy to have him.
I tell you, well, we're lucky that we're all just trying to play in his world right there. This is
I'm still trying to get there.
Thank you so much. Well, this is great. And for all you people out there, go ahead and there's a few things. There's only a few things in life that everybody has to deal with, and money is one of them. And so you might as well get that one right. And the beautiful thing about today's world is that there's so many smart people that can help you, that are accessible to you, which was not in the previous generation. My mom used to say, Danny, if you don't read, you're no better off than the person who doesn't even know how to read. Well, if you don't take care of your money, you're no better off than the person who doesn't even have any. Make sure you make this important part of your life. And these are the two people to do it. Chris Stone, thank you so much. You're awesome. And awesome. For all you people out there, I wish nothing but good things to happen to you all for the rest of your lives. Eat well, live long and prosper, and go get them today.